They have filed divorce for my Ooni. Oh. Ah, divorce ìkejì láàrin ọdún mẹ́rin. Eh? Only four, 1, 2, 3. Okay, four mẹ́rin ọdún, 4 year. Inside 4 year, 2 divorce. We are seeing it. Oh, I woke up in this morning. Oh, I saw punching newspaper. They punch Biggie, me with this news. Breaking. Queen Naomi, Silekunola, announces divorce from Ooni of Ife. Explains reason. Her Majesty, Queen Silekunola Naomi, has announced a separation from the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi Ojaja II. In a statement posted on her verified Instagram handle and Facebook page, she announced an end to the 3-year marriage. According to her, she tried to make the union work, but said the monarch's public identity is at variance with his true self. The fair-skinned ex-queen, according to Punch, is not me. I don't know any ex-queen. You queen is queen. You I did my best to endure and make it work. Many times I smiled through the struggle. But I have finally realized I have just one assignment, my son. And when God is done, he is done. He chose Saul to be king. And when he was done, he told the prophet Samuel, I have moved on. Religion was never an issue between us. Please refer to my interview on News Central TV. Instead, His Majesty had a picture he would love the world to see and perceive him as, and another one which is his true self. The evangelist then declared, today I announce the beginning of a new dawn and the close of a chapter. Today I'm a mother to God's unique gift. I am no longer a slave to my thoughts of perfection. I, at this moment, announce that I shall no longer be referred to as wife of the Ooni of Ife or queen of Ile-Ife, but as the queen of the people and mother of my adorable prince. Responding to some allegations, Silekunola said her decision to move on did not come because His Majesty is married to another queen. She further explained, as many would have loved to assume, although throughout our life as a couple, I was the only married wife to him. There were side attractions, but it was never an issue. So let me understand this thing now. The prophetess queen, has no problem with concubines. I don't have problem with concubines, but I'm interpreting this in my own layman lack of understanding. You know, say I don't know book. I know they argue. I don't know any. As you see me sitting like this, my head just big, nothing there inside. So I want to ask question. If this is from the Punch, I didn't take this from a soft seller's blog, or did the Punch newspaper? Punch newspaper said, let me read this to you. Punch, one should be kidding. Where are you? She said, she further explained, as many would love to assume, throughout our life as a couple, I was the only married wife to him. Is right there in the Punch. She was the only married wife to him. Then she added, there were side attractions, but it was never an issue. I don't understand though, but is it okay for a prophet to say, there's no issue with concubinage. That the priest does not have any issue with concubinage or side attractions, so, because Abraham had side attraction. Jacob, even though they were the house girls or the slaves of his two wives, Leah and what was the other one's name, Rachel, he didn't consider it. It wasn't considered an issue. Solomon had hundreds of side attractions. David had many side attractions. But you see, the Bible these people preach, where does it leave space for side attraction? Is side attraction not supposed to be adultery? It's not me that said it. Me, I don't believe that a polygamous man having concubines is adultery. I don't believe it. If it were, they would have accused David, Solomon, Abraham of committing adultery with their concubines. Men who are polygamous in nature and are proud enough to say, I am polygamous, are not committing adultery with their concubines or their other wives. The men who are committing adultery are the ones that marry you and say, I love you, I want to be the sugar in your tea, the honey in your comb. I want to love you for the rest of my life. And then you are having side chick. You are committing adultery. Because you are living a lie. You are living a fraud. Or you now wake up one day and come and show your wife that this is my new wife. She has 3 children. You committed adultery. But when a man is openly polygamous, I don't say anything wrong. I'm just asking that the version of Christianity they preach, is it okay for her to be okay with side chick? Ibere ni o. Queen Silekunola, I'm very sad that people are going your separate ways. I don't know what to say. I'm glad that it's not because of religion. I'm super proud of the two of you. Someone said her account was not hacked. I'm happy. I'm happy. Because I did not want a situation where the Ooni was bending the traditions. Oh, we Africans have amazing traditions. Some of our traditions are amazing. Some of them are archaic and have no place in today's world. But some of our traditions are actually quite good and beautiful, and they showcase us as Africans. Ooni of Ife in his own right is not just a living legend, he is like a god of the Yorubas. He is an Orisha, a deity. He is not a normal human being. And that is how the Yorubas perceive him. So, I'm really happy that religion was not an issue. Because you get some people who go enter that palace, go begin say, hey, this statue where you get here, you go come out them. They go begin the pour Goya oil. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Look at this, look at this, look at. They go begin to do them up and down palace. Everywhere go begin to scatter. I am glad that was not the case. I am also glad that Ooni will not wake up every single morning. According to this report, I'm hearing Roboboskiraba, Shagaba Tugaba, Rastapa, Polo Kochocho, Ringi Bibidugudu, Chadatatata, Rogobodugoba, Duka, Regabakaba, Duka, Ragalabachugabaka, Duka. Because Papa head go bust. And I also want to say that divorce is becoming more and more rampant. Divorce in 2021, he wear G-string. Okpo yakata. Okpo jukutu. Walai divorce it po. Is it money that Ooni does not have? Is it connection that Ooni does not have? And yet 2 women are divorcing him in 4 years. It just shows that the world our parents grew up in and this world that we are living in are 2 different planets. That's why I always tell people, collect advice from your parents with a pinch of salt, a cube of Maggi, and a dash of onion sauce. Because what worked for them If you try to apply it today, it will not work. Many marriages in 2021 are actually nothing better than situationships. They are a ship, there is a situation, and two or more people are in this ship situationing and agending. Oh, how I wish I could bring Yella here. Hey, Daddy Freeze and Yella. It will have been so sweet. Yella will put mouth. It is a situationship. Whoa, inside the ship situation. And two people there having relations with themselves, or themselves and other people, or with many people. Our parents had relationships. We have complicated relationships and situationships. Our children are going to inherit just situationships. And it is a worry for me. Because if an Orisha, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, me too, I divorced. There's nothing bad in when two people are not going in the same direction. I am a simulator pilot. If you are ever in a plane, the two pilots, there's what you call a healthy cockpit. Any pilot here? Healthy cockpit. Anything this other pilot is doing is announcing. Control is mine. V1, the pilot announces V1, the other one announces rotate. The other one announces positive rate of climb, the other one lifts up the gear. They have to work together. As they are landing at a certain speed, the captain must call for flaps. Flaps 1. And that one must engage flaps 1 and announce flap 1 speed. I'm talking about 737 now. Then the speed of the plane lowers again. The captain announces flaps 5. The other one must announce flap. When the captain announces flaps 5, that one cannot just go and pick flaps 15. They have to work together. But it has gotten to a point where it is obvious that they are not working together. Like me and my ex-wife, we were not working together. There's no way I'm going that she was going. Mentally, spiritually, financially, emotionally, psychologically, scripturally, intellectually, dimensionally, sexually. We were two different people that had no business together. We were in a situationship because of the children. And I regret it. That's why I'm very big on divorce. I regret. She also regrets not leaving the marriage earlier. We both regret staying together when we had no business together. And all our pastors there because of the children. You want the children? If I had left 5 years ago, I would have still had a good relationship with my children. My relationship with my children was, my first 2 children, was destroyed because I stayed in a bad marriage. If I had left, we would have at least been able to nurture the children together, even as enemies. So if you are in a place that it is not working, leave. I am Benga Otonoworo. Oh, what's it life? Daddy Freeze, Ooni shut up. Ìyá bàbá ẹ shut up. Bàbá ìyá ẹ shut up. Gbogbo ọba ìlú yín shut up. Ẹ máa ṣorí burúkú dáràn last náà ni ẹ máa wọgbó sọnù ni ẹ ní rí náà láyé yín. Life mi ló wá ló ń ṣe pé kémi shut up. Bàbá ẹ àti ìyá bàbá ẹ ti shut up ńlé náà. Orí ń tán raise. Àbórí ẹ̀ ń tanná check engine ni. Tí n bá là ń gbájú, ọmọ wa organizer tó bẹ ọ̀ṣà alignment kiri ni. Orí ẹ̀ máa swerve sẹ́gbẹ́ kan ni. Ìwọ láì lọ́pọlọ yìí, amukun mẹ́kọ. tó bá tún wá sí àyín tó sọ̀sọ́kúsọ ń fi èpè ta ọlọ́rẹ. Ó tiẹ̀ lè fi mí dín wọn lẹ́yìn ni. Hey, I've forgotten what I was saying, Jare, for the people that have sense. The few of you here that have sense. Please. I've totally forgotten. Where was I, Jare? I was reading the story about see, yes, all of them go come out now, come watch. If not preach, they preach, I no go come like this. So 500 in one place, 1,300 in another place, 532 in another place. Laura Konsha, we have 2,500 people watching me this afternoon. Somebody say I should block him. I don't want to block him. I want him to collect his egun. Mo fẹ́ fún ní tí ó máa sìn. Something that he will be nourishing in his body. You think is anywhere you can just come and talk anyhow? Please let me go back to relationship. You see, eh? You can do a business deal. There are many people I worked with in my life that I did not enjoy the work. But now work, with you work. You don't have to be my friend. We have a job to do, we will do the job. But you see, marriage, I cannot be kissing you if I don't like you. If me and you are no longer together, we are not together, we cannot kiss. We cannot. Emma Chickens say separation only, divorce not allowed in a Christian. Unfortunately, Emma Chickens, I think the chickens in your name is to show that your brain is chicken brain. In fact, let me help you downgrade that your brain from chicken brain to fish brain, catfish brain especially. Who told you divorce is not allowed? I want to ask you today, who is the person that said divorce is not allowed? In the Old Testament, go to Deuteronomy chapter 24 from verse 1. Open it now. Deuteronomy 24 verse 1. This is how it was done in the Old Testament. If a man marries a woman and she becomes displeasing to her or to him, having discovered something wrong with her, he writes a document of divorce, hands it over to her, and sends her away from his house. When she leaves his house, she is free to remarry another man. It is there in the old law. And if you go with me to the book of Matthew chapter 19, Christ addressed this. Go to Matthew chapter 19. We have Bible inside our head. We don't just jump up and down and be trying to show knowledge that we don't have. Some people are good at it, I'm not. Matthew chapter 19. If you read from verse 7. Let's read from verse 3. Some Pharisees came to trap him with a question. Should a man be allowed to divorce his wife for just any reason? Verse 4. Haven't you read the scriptures? Yahushua replied. They record that from the beginning God made male and female. And he said this explains why a man leaves his father and his mother and is joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Since they are no longer two but one, let no one split apart what God has joined together. Then verse 7, they now replied, then why did Moses say in the law? Where did Moses say in the law? Deuteronomy 24 verse 1. That's where Moses established divorce in the law. And that was what he was quoting here. Why did Moses say in the law that a man could give his wife a written notice of divorce and send her away? They asked. Yahushua replied, Moses permitted divorce only as a concession to your hard hearts. But it was not what God had originally intended. And I tell you this, whosoever divorces his wife and marries someone else commits adultery unless the wife has been unfaithful. Christ does not say anything about her remarrying. The law of Moses stood. The law of Moses said, if she is, go and read Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 1, all the way down to verse 3. He said, as long as the man does not like her again, he has every right to divorce her, and she has every right to go and marry somebody else. Clearly written. Forget what the religious people are teaching you. They don't know book. And Christ was asked a question. He was asked to expatiate on the law. He didn't cook what he said up from his head. He was speaking of the law of Moses. And where did the law of Moses establish the divorce? It was in Deuteronomy chapter 24. So in Matthew chapter 19, Christ was responding to a question, and he never said that the woman divorced cannot remarry, because the law was clear. She can go and marry anybody else of her choice. Is there. What Christ addressed was the reason why men were divorcing their wives. Because according to the law of Moses, a man can wake up this morning and divorce his wife because she has stretch marks, or because she has added weight, or when he married her, she had flat tummy. Now the tummy is round and big and protruding, and it is competing with her backside. Before, her mammary was like this. Now it is like slippers. The man can wake up one morning and say, I'm not. No. Christ said the only reason why a man can divorce his wife is if she has been unfaithful. However, he never said, addressing the law of Moses, that she cannot remarry. He said only can he remarry or she remarry if there was. The Greek word that was used here was porneia. And porneia is better off translated as sexual immorality. So for those who are saying the two of them can remarry as Christians, and as I don't know about traditionally, I know the king does not need to get a divorce before he remarries a second wife or a third wife. He's a king. I don't see any court in Nigeria holding a king with bigamy. So a king can marry as many wives as he wants. And according to Christianity, as the queen moves on, she can also remarry. She, in her own sense, as you started to say that there were other things inside, it not be me go talk her, but she talk her for punch. So, let's be very, very careful when we are mistranslating things to suit our agenda. Who said they cannot be married or remarry? It's the lies they taught you and called it Christianity. They sat down, they opened your head, poured lies inside, the way they poured it inside your grandfather's head, your great-grandfather's head, and inside your father's head. And you have refused to push them away when they want to pour nonsense inside your head. It is just paining me because the Ooni is such a nice man. And I actually thought, in my own humble opinion, that Ooni and Princess Naomi, I believe that their togetherness will have lasted. Personally, I am struggling not understanding what really should be done or needs to be done. But one thing I know.
It's connecting me.
They are doing your hair. And you are joining my life. You are looking so beautiful.
I'm listening to your sermon.
In fact, you are beautiful. Beautiful. You are not beautiful. You are beautiful.
Thank you.
Let me see your hairstyle.
I want to retouch my hair.
Are you going to put wig or attachment or weave on? What are you going to do to it? Wig. Chai. One more long, but she fine. Everybody clap for this Olori to be. I mean, no one be Olori. Please, hey, Mama, what's your name? Introduce yourself. We've introduced you as beautiful already. Tell us about the story. What is your opinion?
Uh, Me, I feel there's something. There's some. My name is Naomi too. I feel
Hey, neyo, bokoloko ni wo, mo moju e. You will collect somebody's husband. You are too fine.
no. I feel there's something she's not saying. There's something in her mind that she have been enduring in that marriage that she have not been able to say. So I think she's decided she have been in the marriage and she moved on already. So she have already moved. She have moved on mentally in the
But
marriage
3 years is
before
a short
before
time.
finally moving on, before coming out. So that's why I feel there's something she can't say.
Naomi, thank you very much.
Sir,
Thank you for joining us
well,
live. God bless you. You are beautiful. Enjoy your hairdo.
thank you, sir.
Take care,
You
my
too.
darling.
Thank you. Bye.
Omo, what a lovely lady. Anybody else that wants to join and come and talk, please. The time is now. It's not that when I'll be going, I'll come here. I want to be that the phrase. No. If anything you want to be it now. Please send me your request. And respect yourself, because if you enter my request and you don't respect yourself, I will not respect you. Quincy Morocco. I see person named Quincy Morocco. Is she from Morocco? Christmas hair loading. Hello. Hello, ceiling. We are talking to the ceiling now. The ceiling is going to address us. Ceiling, talk now. Ed on Salo. All of a sudden, 25 people want to talk. Okonkwo, you will talk. Quincy, you will talk. Hey, look at Queen. Oh yeah, you will talk. All of you that want to talk, come and talk now. And make sure you have good internet too. All the present queens and future queens. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm fine, sir.
What's your name?
And you are is the family. My name is Modupe.
Modupe.
Yeah.
Well done, Modupe.
Yes, sir. I'm at work. I want to go outside.
All right, tell us, what is your opinion?
Yeah, my opinion is, I always say that a good Christian cannot marry from a royal home.
Why?
Because royal home, they have their own culture and all these their and all those stuff. That if you are a good Christian, you cannot be able to go into it, and you will not want to do it. And where you, by the time you know, it will be difficult for you to pull out. It's the strong people that will be able to pull out in that situation. So as for me, I give my respect to anybody in that situation and could be able to stand strong and bold to come out from it. You know, if there to be some other ladies, slave queens and all that, all what they will be after is the royalty. They won't, because if you say you're a good Christian, there are some things that you will not be able to hold. I'm from a royal home, and I don't care about it and all that, because there are some things that you will not even like it. If you are a good Christian, you know about it, you read your Bible, you will know that this thing, I'm not supposed to be doing it, is not good. So as for me, when Queen got married to the king, I was like, are you sure this woman is a good Christian? Because if you are a good Christian, you will not even bother to go into that marriage. But along the line, I was on Gist Lover page, and I was reading about it. I was like, I think this woman is going to pull out later on if she's a good Christian and all that. Not that maybe the king is fetish or something, but there are some things that is their culture that they need to do, that is a must for them to do. So that is my own point of view. That maybe the queen is not comfortable with all those things and all that. She just has to pull out.
Okay.
So,
thank you so much. Thank you so much for that point of view. We have the other lady on my left. Hello, lady, and the new lady that just joined, please be patient. Hello, my darling, how are you doing?
Hi.
What's your name and tell us what your opinion is?
I think I don't know. What was she thinking going into the marriage at first? What did she think? They're two different backgrounds, two different spiritual backgrounds. So I don't, was she thinking of going there to
But she
change
said
the
she
Ooni
didn't
of
have any
Ife
issues.
or what?
That religion was never a problem. She clearly said it. Let me read it to you from the article in the Punch.
No. I think she went there thinking, okay, she was young, she can persuade the Ooni of Ife to like do differently, or maybe she felt okay, she's going in and hers will be different. That's what she felt. Because
even before going to such marriage, she's supposed to go for the background. I married a Igbo. I'm a Yoruba from Abeokuta. And before I got married to my husband, if my husband is Igbo, and I did my feasibility study to be sure where I'm going to.
There are lots of things involved. You cannot put the Bible and tradition, or you cannot put Christianity and tradition like together. Who does that?
That is it.
But you
Even
see,
if
it was not a problem. You see, what you need to understand is. Hold on, let me explain something to you. Hold on, let me explain something to you. Guys, everybody calm down, calm down,
They're going
calm
to
down,
do
calm
different.
down.
They are going to that's going to contradict your religion. That's going to contradict your background. That's going to contradict everything you believe in Christianity. So I don't understand why she's leaving now. If she knew from the beginning that
But
she would
never. I don't understand why people are not getting it. Hold on, guys. Everybody,
can I
quiet.
say something, please?
Yes, please say something. Lady, say something.
Can I say something?
Introduce
please?
yourself first.
I beg. Yeah, my name is Holly. I'm from Ghana.
Okay.
I beg to differ. You know, we have people going into marriages for various reasons. I've been married for 16 years, and I will tell you, marriage is not a bed of roses. So if someone is pulling out, let's be sure of our reasons. She has stated categorically that it wasn't about religion. And I can tell you so well. Yes, I can tell you so well. Even before the Ooni, got on the throne, he was a Christian. And in the background, he has not actually forfeited that part of him. Now, there are other issues that have been said to arise in the palace. For instance, there are other women. These women have been there before Naomi was eventually married. Naomi was married because she was single. She was not married before. She didn't have a child. All these women have been divorced and they have children. They could not be presented as the queen, but they are there now as Ayaba. You know, there's the queen and others are Ayaba. For her, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. And for me, I always say marriage is not 100% endurance, like that if we said. At a point, if you think it's going to work, and it looks like two of you might kill yourself eventually one day, it's wiser to step. Now, African traditional, I'm also from the royal home, one part Nigeria, one part Ghanaian. African traditional ruling homes, there's so, like my sister said above there, there's so much culture, there's so much tradition that if you don't know and you go into it, you would have to fight till the end. Now, this is not the first time Naomi is actually pulling out. She pulled out when she was pregnant. They pleaded that she returned. That was why the child was named Tadenikawo, for the mercy, for the sake of the throne. Reconsider. So if you are in a relationship and all you have to do is reconsider, you should also give your life a thought. Are you happy at all? Are you ever happy for once? She's in a marriage where she feels she doesn't have the say. She's in a marriage where she thinks she's not happy, she's not fulfilled. At this point, I am going to put religious beliefs and all those things aside for my sanity. For would we say that haven't we seen Muslims or people of other religion marry Christians and they have lasted? Haven't we seen? I'm a Christian. I'm a minister of the gospel. I'm trying not to be fanatic. I'm trying to be realistic. Haven't we seen Christians marry people from other religions and the marriage has lasted? There are 2 people in a marriage, but when you have 6, 7, 8, 10 people making decisions in a marriage, it will scatter. You see, we have been taught silly things. Like that the priest was saying, we have been taught so many silly things. And we have grown up with those silly things. And we are beginning to reason like we are not actually the ones living in this world. Do you understand? Now, when I got married, my husband was an ekist. I was a spirit coco, as a spirit girl. But I was blasted, lambasted that I married an Hekanka believer, what. Few years along the line, he gave his life to Christ. And he's doing well. That is not to say that we have not had our differences. As a matter of fact, while we are both Christians, we have more differences than when he was doing his stuff. But it's my personal conviction. Do you get it? Now, in the ruling home, you have the permission and the authority to marry 10 wives. Let the Ooni marry 10 wives. And let us know that he has 10 wives. Don't stop declaring one wife where there are women who are suppressing Naomi, who are choking her up. She doesn't have the liberty, the total control as the queen in the palace. And you see something, very soon they are going to debunk the news. Very soon they will debunk the news because there is all manner of approach to restore peace and to bring her back. You understand? And when they do, they will tell you, our account was hacked and all of that. Our account was not hacked.
Okay.
You understand? But marriage, divorce, if I feel like, God forbid, I'm going to kill my husband one day, like maybe I'm going psycho with what is done, withdraw. Is it not wisdom for you to withdraw than kill someone and have blood on your hands? So when it comes to marriage, sometimes I don't actually point fingers and because there are some personal things the person must have endured and has not spoken out. That's my opinion.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I don't think. Yes.
She was going. She thinking that she was not going to go through any stress, because we all know that marriage is an institution and you're going there to learn a lot of things. Did she think it was going to be a rosy ride?
Even if you marry one person, even if you marry a person who is not an hobber, even if you marry one-on-one for love, when some challenges come knocking at you.
What she just said now is part of my question, and I want to go, but I want to quickly say something.
Okay.
Before going into a royal home, I think we all know that there are so many things attached to it. Like there will be many distractions, and there will be so many people giving orders, and even your king, before he could proceed with so many things, he will even have to discuss with the chief cabinet and all that. So we all know that before getting into a royal home, there are so many certain things that your husband, your king, will not be able to do by himself. So my own point of view is that she made a bold step. She, like what I read in the comment section, she might think that maybe she coming into the palace, she can help with so many things with prayer and all that. But if it doesn't work, fine. If she will go back there later, or if it doesn't work for her happiness, good life, her prosperity is the most important things for her. And thank God, what I read, she said she has never get pregnant before, but she has a child in that marriage. So one of the good things, so she did not lose nothing. She lose nothing. She might be out there with another man and she might not get pregnant or something. But I'm happy for her. She has a fruit from it, something she can look up to as a reward from God. So that is my point of view. I'm happy to be on this live show with that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my darling. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you.
When we were young, our parents had, some of our parents, or if our direct parents didn't have it, our parents, family friends had 2 wives, 3 wives, 4 wives, and we were in the Orthodox churches, Methodist, Anglican, and the likes. They were Christians then, and they were living peacefully, cohabiting with the children and the stepwife and the siblings and everything. And there was no issue whatsoever. So I believe that at some point, I'm trying to stay away from religion, and focus on us as Africans. That's why I'm quite open, So if at this point I decide to marry a man with 3 wives, for instance, I know that I'm going in there for rivalry and I will be facing certain things. But at the same time, I still feel that as humans, when you get to a point where your mental health or your state of mind is jeopardized, and 2 of you cannot relate, cannot cohabit, cannot work anymore, you should let go. You should let go.
Thank you so much. Hold on, sis. We have another gentleman here. Hello, sir.
Hello, Daddy Freeze.
How are you doing,
nice
brother?
Nice to do your video. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. So what is your opinion on the matter with the ground?
My opinion, I'm really very shocked. I'm shocked about it. I'll tell you why. Because in the first place, she knew she was getting married into such a traditional institution, a traditional environment. I don't think it was heard of that the wife of an Ooni, she's even the one announcing to the whole world that she is divorcing the Ooni. You see, things have changed so terribly. You said something earlier on in your broadcast, Daddy Freeze, that what worked for our parents cannot work for us now.
I'm telling you.
Back then, women were very reserved. Women were more like, I'm talking from Benin. I'm a Benin man. You understand? I understand tradition. Here in Benin, Yoruba of Benin has 5 wives. This kind of thing, we can't hear about it. That the wife of a paramount traditional ruler is the one announcing that she's divorcing. Oh my goodness. To me, it shouldn't be. And I believe that it is because times have changed. That is just it. Times have changed. Modernization, liberalization. Our women are no longer as submissive. Even our children. The way, if you see my daughter, I have a 14-year-old daughter. When my daughter is playing with my head, I will be telling her, respect the daddy head. This is daddy head. She will say, I know. She will be tapping you can imagine. Now, in our time, we did not do that to our parents.
They're not born you
my
well.
sister, you are laughing. Did you ever tap your father's head? Did you do that? You didn't do that. But times have changed. That is just it. But again, I say it's unfortunate. It should be unheard of. And in Benin parlance, such a woman, even though you are young, no other man is expected to have anything to do with her again. I would have said it be the a tree that has been mounted. A tree that has been mounted. Yes. A tree that has been mounted.
Are you Benin this auntie? You be only Uganda, only you Yoruba, only you Benin.
That is it.
I'm a Ghanaian.
That is it. Yes. So it's unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. But well, in the light of modernity, present day reality, it's better she moves on. Move on with your life and be happy. Even pastors, go and look at the Pastor Chris's. It's public knowledge. Pastor Chris Okotie, Pastor Chris Oyakilome. They divorced and life what? Life has continued.
Did I not divorce? Did I not divorce?
What is it?
Yes. Is that stopping me from preaching the word of God on my ex-wife from remarrying?
That is something I enjoy about your show. You are punctuating all those fables, all those wrong doctrines. That's why I love watching your videos. You see, a lot of people, they will insult you because you are not a big daddy GO. I said it in one comment. Because you are not a big daddy GO, you don't have private jets, you don't have thousands of crowds that you show on TV. They will be commonizing what you are saying. And what you are saying, you say it based on information, accurate information. So it's part of our problem. What our head is being filled with today. This Christianity of, I call it pentirascality.
Hey!
It's affecting us negatively. Otherwise, I mean, you should be submissive, more submissive. Polygamy is not a new thing. Hannah, the mother of Prophet Samuel, for God's sake, Jacob, the 12 tribes of Israel, they were born by 4 women. 4. Nobody that they're even the ones bringing women for their husband. Even Abraham's wife Sarah, she organized that side chick. But women these days, the liberalization and everything. So that is just the problem.
Thank you so much. All right, the lady who's been here long, just before you go, have your final say. Lady in the black wig, please have your final say.
I don't have anything. I wanted to argue with this man, but
argue. The platform is open.
I'm not good. I don't even want to start any argument. They even got you support that. Daddy, please bye bye. I know I'm for trouble. I beg.
My question, Daddy, please.
Bye.
My question to you, though. My question to you. We know that Muslims marry many wives. Yes. We know other religions who marry many wives. And what I know from scriptures is Apostle Paul talking about deacons being husbands to one wife, bishops being husbands to one wife. Why is it a law or a lifestyle or a rule in Christianity that men are not permitted to have one wife? Or how did it come to be? I'm asking that the phrase.
Man having one wife came most likely from the mistranslation of Christianity by the white people who brought it. I'm telling you 100%. Personally, in 2021, there's not much space for polygamy. The world was not designed, or the current world we live in is not designed for multiple wives. Because women are no longer, like you rightly said, the submissive women we used to have. Our daughters are not raised to be submissive. The way our mothers were. Secondly, the societal module, which is imported from the Western world, is for a man, his wife, and their children. And this module is imprinted into our subconscious by a process called subtle incapacitation via the media, via religion, and via social organizations. So you think it is normal, you see it normal for a young man to marry a young woman. It wasn't always like that biblically. Esther was in her teens. King Xerxes was in his 40s, early 40s. Ruth, like I spoke about, was about 40, and Boaz was about 80.
Exactly.
That's true.
The Regina Daniels marriage to Ned is more of what was rampant in Africa and the biblical times. Because for a woman as beautiful as Regina Daniels, young boy no fit marry am.
At all.
Young boy no fit marry am. If he marry am, then the time go war. It go be like Bathsheba and David. Woman wey beautiful reach Bathsheba. If king no quickly see am marry, king go collect am from the person wey get am. In Yoruba land, it is called Oba Gbese Leya Where. The king put his leg on somebody's wife.
Yes.
That is how you carry your wife to the king. Your wife is beautiful. The Oba Gbese Le, he will use his authority as a king to seize your wife.
But David did something like that.
Born from a house.
David did something like that.
Yes, now that's what David did to Bathsheba. Even though he went his own, he actually sent her husband to go and die at war, which was uncalled for, and he suffered for it. But let me tell you, it was that Bathsheba that gave birth to the next king.
Exactly.
So let's understand that a normal woman can marry a young normal man, but there's a rare type of beauty. That's why I use Regina Daniels as example. Regina Daniels for Bible no fit marry young man. It go dey rare.
At all.
Look at Esther. She was the most beautiful, most appealing. The king fell and she entertained him very well in bed. That's a narrative that many people run away from. If you read the book of Esther chapter 2, you would realize that what she went to do with the king that made the king fall for her and put the crown royal on her head was sexual entertainment.
That is it.
Fine, it might have been through God's plan, and maybe God made her sweeter than all the other women, and God made the king fall for her. But let me tell you, it was not true talking. The Bible says only if the king especially enjoyed her would she be brought back again to see his presence. So we need to understand that that world does not exist. And sadly for the Ooni of Ife, the Ooni of Ife is an ancient god king.
Yeah.
That is now operating in 2021. And he's meeting women of 2021 or women of around this time frame. In my own humble opinion, his wife should have been groomed.
Well groomed.
Not as well in, they should have given him a wife. The kind of wife that knows that if you want, instead of divorce, you would rather end there. Because according to tradition, this is a king. You can't just leave a king. But at the same time, I can't tell a woman to stay in a bad relationship or a relationship she's not enjoying.
Yeah.
So what, in order to avoid this kind of thing, they will look for maybe 5 beautiful maidens in Ife of maybe 12 to 16 and start grooming them down to the queens.
For the king.
They have no other work. The society puts aside salary for them every month, good salary. They drive good cars. Until if they pick one of them, the other ones can now go and marry.
Yeah.
And once they marry you, you know that it is your royal duty to those days.
Forever.
Let me tell you, if you go and read the book of Esther, the people who took care of the king's wife were eunuchs. They did not have male organs
at all.
So that it's not like the women get aroused one day. There's nothing they can do. They are taking care of the harem. And this harem style was across the Middle East, across Africa, even down to China. Go and watch the Netflix movie Marco Polo. The king had his wife that he loved, but he had his harem. There was a difference between a queen and the women that entertain a king. The queen, sometimes the women are entertaining him like 6 women at a time. The queen goes in there to see her king. And as she's going, the king will tell her, I love you. I love you does not mean that I will not enjoy all these other women as king. Someone here is saying, if God's desire is for a man to have many wives, he will have made many Eves or Adam. And stop talking about what you don't know. If it was God's desire, let me read a Bible to you and a message from God. Please. For this person that wrote this ignorant comment, I want to read the Bible to you to show you that this Bible, we did not learn it in Pentecostal church.
At all.
Let me read this scripture to you. 2 Samuel chapter 18, chapter 12, verse 8. Here is the prophet Nathan talking to David with a message from God. Maybe I should read from verse 7. Then Nathan said to David, you are that man. The Lord, the God of Israel says, I anoint. So this is now God talking. He brought a message from God. Says, I anointed you king of Israel and saved you from the power of Saul. I gave you your master's house and his wives and the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. And if that had not been enough, I will have given you much more.
Yes.
So you that you are coming, what's that Olodo's name? Where is he? Let me bring him out. Ify Joy. Leave Genesis. This is God talking to David through Nathan. Are there 2 gods in the Bible? Leave what God created. Here is God telling David that if you had wanted more wives, you should have told
I
me.
would have
You had
given
your
you.
wives. Come, hey you. You had your wives. Tell them to serve me food. I'm hungry. Sorry guys. If you had your wives, you had your concubines. But if you had one, I now gave you Saul's wives. Go and read it yourself. Stop being ignorant and coming to argue. 2 Samuel chapter 12 verse 7. The Lord God of Israel says, I anointed you as king of Israel and saved you from the power of Saul. I gave you your master's house and his wives. After David had his wives, David had his concubines, God still gave David the wives of Saul. And then this same God told David that if you had wanted more, why didn't
I would
you
have given you.
ask? Why did you have? So you are saying, but it was not God's intent. You are confusing yourself. You have to understand that there's a difference between Adam and a king. Go and read about the benefits of being king that God gave to Saul. Adam was not a king. David was a king. We are clearly talking about a king here in the context of a king. So there is nothing wrong with a king being polygamous. The only problem I will have with a king being polygamous is if he doesn't announce to his queen that he's going to be polygamous. Do you understand my problem?
And that the phrase, apart from that, I don't know why people say all this stuff that God did not create to Eve. Have they seen Exodus chapter 21 verse 10? Exodus 21 verse 10, it is clearly stated, Moses was addressing the Israelites. And he says, if a man later marries another wife, he must continue to provide food and clothing. In other words, God never told them not to take more than one wife.
From the New Living Translation. If a man who has married a slave wife takes another wife for himself, he must not neglect the rights of his first wife to food, clothing, and sexual intimacy.
That is it. In other words, God made provision for polygamy.
It was clear. Now,
it was clear.
Christ's words, where a man cannot just divorce his wife anyhow, except it be for immorality. Now, because those people who brought what is it called, Christianity to Africa, were the British. We saw Christianity through their eyes. That is why our white wedding, which is considered a Christian wedding, is actually their traditional wedding.
Their traditional wedding. It's not a Christian wedding in any way.
Christianity in Nigeria today is not Christianity, it's British religion. A thwarted version of Christianity, a bastardization based on British ideology, culture, and dictates.
Yes, exactly.
So, do I preach polygamy? No. And my reason is based on Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, which I would love to read to you. There is neither Jew nor Gentile, slave nor free, nor is there male or female, for you are all one in Christ. With this, it makes it difficult for a man to use his veto right over a woman, saying, I want to take another wife. Because the woman is his equal in salvation. Yes. So if he does want to practice polygamy, let me not lie to you. You get men will get very high sexual needs. Libido. And these men have money. You see, it's one thing to have libido and you are poor. Baba, now you and Sophie una go end una problem. But when you are on Dangote's level, hello Vidoma, sorry, I've not been ignoring you. Let me just finish. I'll bring you on now.
Sophie.
But someone like Dangote, that is a billionaire. If Dangote marries 100 women, all their children are better than all of us here. Their children
He
will have
can
access
take
to
care of
private
them.
jet. They will have access to better schools that
He
we
can
attended.
provide for them.
So the only thing I will
Yes.
require somebody like Dangote to do is, Vidoma, I love you. You are a beautiful girl, but I will marry another wife after you. I will love you. I will take care of you. I will take care of your
Clear.
family. I will do all my rights for you. But just know that I like more women. And I can afford it. MKO Abiola could afford it. He could afford it. My problem is when a poor man decides to be polygamous.
That is the problem.
It is disastrous because at the end of the day, the mothers or the wives end up raising the children themselves. Someone said Old Testament religion is not Christianity. Let me tell you something about the New Testament that I don't realize. The New Testament is not a religion. The British made it a religion. And the words of Paul are to be very carefully measured. When you are taking Paul against Moses, the only person that can override Moses, in my humble opinion, as a Christian follower of Christ, is Christ. Christ can override Moses. And in overriding Moses, like you see in the examples of Matthew chapter 5 and Matthew chapter 19, Christ was very careful to spell out where he was overriding Moses. Like I said, there's not much room for polygamy in modern day Christianity. But I must declare to you today that polygamy is not a sin. It is not adultery. It is not immorality. It is not a sin unless the man lies to the women and he doesn't take care of them. Only then does it become a sin.
Exactly.
But as long as you know you are marrying Ooni of Ife, what did you go and expect to be there?
Okay.
Daddy Freeze, I actually have a question.
Okay, Vidoma has a question.
Good evening, sir. Is it evening or afternoon? Sorry, good afternoon, sir.
Good evening.
Daddy Freeze, my contribution is this. This thing is a cultural something. Like this marriage is based to be discussed on a cultural platform. Like, a few days back, you had a section that you asked if religion should, if culture should be considered as a taboo. Some people were saying that you don't have to be a cultural person and you still be a Christian. Let me say something from the angle of the single. I'm not married, but I can really say some certain things. This Miss Naomi actually knew she was getting married to royalty. This is royalty. This is not like the other people getting married to a normal man. This is you acknowledging that this is royalty. And for you to think of royalty, you should also consider, or as a human being that has a common sense, you should know that there are some things that are not being put on air for everyone to know, which you get to see when you enter into that marriage. Do you get it?
Clearly.
Okay, fine. Let's just say, as a woman, you are not properly informed. You're not schooled about the afterlife in your marriage that she's experiencing now that is discomforting her to want to leave the marriage. It's fine for a person to choose to leave the marriage. We get it. You're not happy. You can decide to leave. But the question is, were you not properly informed? What exactly were you expecting to see in the marriage that is making you feel like you were not properly informed? Like this was not what you expected.
Sense.
To me, this is culture, and I must say it. Like the modernization these days is making us to lose our culture. And sorry to say this. There is a difference between being submissive and being subdued. And which I understand that in royalty, you are schooled to be subdued, to be submissive. I can literally get married to a normal man and choose to say some certain things and maybe come to social media and say some certain things. But in culture, there are some certain places you're not expected to be present. You, as a cultural person, there are some certain things you're not expected to do. There are some certain things you're expected to like remove yourself entirely from. But now people feel that they want to live their life, they want to be happy, they want to do this, they want to do that. No, this is you getting married to a king, for crying out loud. Royalty has principles and they must duly be followed. And if you think you're not comfortable to follow those rules, then stay in your father's house. It's as simple as that. You just can't come and get married to someone and today you're saying you don't feel comfortable. What were you expecting? This is not about us being sympathetic with her. What was she expecting in the first place? Like, leave polygamy in this whole issue. There's nothing to consider about the Ooni being a polygamous person. This is a king. King have rules. There are principles that has been guiding this royalty and those kingdoms before your existence. So if you think you want to be a royalty, you want to get married to royalty, then you should prepare your sense, your head, as in everything. You should know that a whole lot of things are going to change about you. It's not just about your happiness. It's just about you putting things together for you to satisfy the culture. Do you get it? I don't understand people saying she's living because of religion. She's living because of...
Somebody here said this girl needs a gift. Please send to our account. I will forward to Vidoma. Vidoma is my sister.
so Daddy Freeze.
I'm surprised. He's so young and he's wise.
So Daddy
Vidoma,
Freeze.
they say you are wise. My followers are wise. Oh.
Let's not miss this whole thing with religion and what. To me, I think to who more is given, more is expected. If she actually made the decision to get married to the Ooni, she's expected to endure whatever comes out in that marriage. Is culture, is reality, is how it is expected. This is not like in my Igbo culture. I read some comments where people are saying our parents were suffering. Let me tell you something from my observation, Daddy Freeze. To our parents, most of them cheated. To our mothers, they were cheating, but they were very cultured about it. Do you get it? They were so cultured about it, unlike these days that you will see a married woman cheating so openly, you will see a married man cheating so openly. They cheated, but they did it with courtesy. They did it knowing that what they were actually doing was wrong. They were so conscious about their action. That's why we are seeing it like they were cultured. They were not really that cultured, we are assuming. They were covering it. They were being so careful about what they were doing. Just these days, married women are not, they are not being so, they are just like cheating openly and doing it. Like the one I witnessed in the office the other day, she was putting on her ring, like her ring was showing, and she came to mess up. Like I was telling my girlfriend, like, babe, how can this woman like feel it's so okay? Excuse me. Like, it's so okay for you to put on your wedding ring, come to a hotel, and cheat so openly. Like, women are losing it these days. Do you understand? Those days they were so cultured and conscious.
It's been so wonderful hosting you. Thank you, all of you. My dear brother, what's your name again?
Israel is my name.
Thank you so much. You've been our companion throughout the day and you spoke quite a lot of wisdom. Opinions might differ. I wish both of them well. I wish the Ooni of Ife very well. And I wish the Queen. Now, some people are suggesting that the story might not be true, that her account was hacked. Well, we await. I got the story from the Punch newspapers. It's on Instablog. It's on Linda AKG. And should there be a twist in narrative or a change in the direction of the story, or or a reversal in the complexion of the issues, I will be the first to bring it to you and keep you updated. And
Definitely.
always, I will
It's not happening.
ensure that I give you a
That's one thing that the
biblical.
sources are very credible sources.
I will make sure I
Very
give you
credible
a
sources.
biblical source, okay, to back or
It's
biblical
all right.
or whatever
It's
it's
all
called,
right.
to back myself up. Thank you all
Have a
so
pleasant
much,
day. Yeah.
and stay blessed. So, guys, wonderful hanging out with you all. I'm really blessed to have you as an audience. I thank you so much for joining us live. I thank you for the intelligence you've all shared. I thank you for being such a ruly, how do I put it? A very ruly set of people. Because normally, this place, they quick scatter. So I thank you all so much for every single thing you've done. Vidoma was also very, very wonderful. Fafa L says, this man talking about women. Brother, if your mama born you and your sense no come out, join your body, follow placenta, why they show us for here? Amukumeko. Ifi joy, whether you like to accept it or not, whether the lies your pastors have fed into your brain have ingrained to the point where you are lacking cohesion and comprehension, and it is impairing your cognitive abilities, whether you agree to it or not, I'm a biblical scholar that will school your pastor. I say this without bragging because it's the truth. So if you are not ready to sit down and accept what we are doing here, please leave. I did not on this live to beg you, and you are not paying for the live. It's not like you paid me to come and go live. So please, 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 if you don't like it, be going. All right, guys, love you all. Take care of yourselves. See you soon if there's any news update. Ray Ajao, take care. God bless.